Hey there, friend. Come sit down for a minute because I need to tell you something important. Something that could literally save your life. And I'm not being dramatic here. I'm talking about your arteries and what's really going on inside them right now while we're having this conversation. You know what? For the past 20 years, operating rooms have been filled with folks just like you and me. Good people who thought they were doing everything right, taking their pills, watching their diet, walking every day. And yet, when those chests got opened up on the operating table, you know what was found? Arteries that looked like old rusty pipes, hard as concrete, clogged up tight. And here's the kicker. Almost everything these folks had been told about fixing their arteries was completely wrong. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh boy, here we go. Another person telling me to drink lemon water or take some weird supplement. But hold on. That's exactly the nonsense I'm here to talk about. See, the internet is full of this stuff. Drink apple cider vinegar to clean your arteries. Take garlic pills to melt cholesterol. It's everywhere. And it's all baloney. Complete baloney. Your arteries aren't kitchen pipes, my friend. The stuff clogging them up isn't like bacon grease stuck to a frying pan. You can't just pour some magic liquid down your throat and expect it to scrub everything clean. That's not how your body works. Not even close. So how do I know all this? Well, let me tell you. When you spend years looking at diseased arteries up close, cutting them open, holding them in your hands, you see things. Real things. Not theories. Not guesses. The actual biology of what's happening inside your body. And what's happening is nothing like what most people think. Here's the real deal. That plaque in your arteries, it's not cholesterol stuck to the wall like gunk on a pipe. Nope. It's actually your immune system fighting a war. Right now, inside your arteries, your white blood cells are attacking cholesterol that's gotten damaged and rusty. It's like your body thinks it's fighting an infection. And that battle, that's what creates the plaque. Now stay with me here, because this is where it gets interesting. Once you understand what's really happening, you'll see why that meal I'm about to tell you about isn't some health food fad. This is actual science. Every ingredient does something specific, turns on a switch, activates a pathway, gets your body to do what it's supposed to do naturally, but forgot how. This meal doesn't magically clean your arteries. What it does is way better. It wakes up your body's own cleaning system, the system that's supposed to pull cholesterol out of your artery walls and get rid of it for good. It stops your arteries from turning into bone. It prevents that cholesterol from getting rusty in the first place. And before you think I'm pulling your leg here, let me tell you, this is real science, published in medical journals, tested on real people, and it works. But you've got to understand what you're dealing with first. So let me explain what's really going on in those arteries of yours. Picture this. Your artery wall is like a 3-layer cake. The innermost layer, the one touching your blood, is made of these tiny smooth cells. When they're healthy, they're slippery. They make this gas called nitric oxide that keeps your blood vessels nice and wide open. Keeps blood flowing smooth. But here's what happens when things go wrong. Maybe you've had high blood pressure for years. Maybe you smoked. Maybe you've got diabetes. Maybe you've just had a lot of stress and inflammation in your body. Those delicate cells lining your arteries get damaged. They stop making that nitric oxide gas. They get sticky. Little gaps open up between them. And through those tiny gaps, cholesterol particles sneak into your artery wall. Now, if that cholesterol just sat there minding its own business, we wouldn't have a problem. But it doesn't sit still. It starts to rust. Yeah, rust. Just like metal rusts when it's exposed to air, that cholesterol rusts when it's exposed to the harsh environment inside your artery wall. And when your immune system sees rusty cholesterol, it freaks out. It thinks you've got an infection. So it sends in the troops. White blood cells rush to the scene. They transform into these cells called macrophages, big gobbling cells. Their job is to eat up foreign invaders and clean up messes. So these macrophages see the rusty cholesterol and they start eating it. Gobble, gobble, gobble. But here's the problem. They eat so much cholesterol that they can't process it all. They get stuffed, bloated. They swell up like little balloons filled with fat. And that's when they turn into what scientists call foam cells. Fat-filled immune cells that look foamy under a microscope. And those foam cells, they're the beginning of your plaque problem. They're stuck in your artery wall, can't get out, can't spit out all that cholesterol they ate. So they just sit there getting sicker and sicker. And eventually they die and burst open, spilling all that cholesterol and inflammatory junk into your artery wall. And that triggers more inflammation. More immune cells rush in. More foam cells form. The plaque grows bigger and bigger. This goes on for years, decades even. Slowly your arteries narrow. You start getting chest pain when you walk upstairs. You get short of breath easier. Your legs cramp up when you try to take a walk. But here's the really scary part. The real danger isn't even the narrowing. The real danger is when that plaque ruptures. See, plaque isn't solid like a rock. It's more like a pimple. A thin skin covering a gooey center full of dead foam cells and cholesterol crystals. And when that thin skin breaks open, all that gunk spills into your bloodstream. Your blood sees it and immediately forms a clot. A big clot, right there, blocking the artery completely. If that happens in an artery feeding your heart, boom, heart attack. If it happens in an artery going to your brain, boom, stroke. And here's what's crazy. Sometimes it's not even the biggest plaques that rupture. Sometimes a plaque that's only blocking 40 or 50% of the artery, one that wouldn't even show up on a stress test. That's the one that ruptures and kills you, because it's not about how big the plaque is. It's about how inflamed it is, how unstable it is, how many of those foam cells are dying inside it. And that's why the usual approach doesn't really work. Your cardiologist does tests, measures how blocked your arteries are. If they're more than 70% blocked, they put in a stent. Open it up. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The plaque is still there, still inflamed, still ready to rupture. The stent just keeps blood flowing past it. It doesn't fix the underlying problem. And all those plaques that aren't bad enough to stent, the ones that are only 30 or 40% blocked, nobody's doing anything about them. They're just sitting there quietly growing, quietly inflaming, quietly waiting to rupture. That's why we need a completely different approach, friend. We don't just need to widen the artery, we need to actually reverse the plaque, pull that cholesterol back out of the artery wall. And guess what? Your body has a system for doing exactly that. It's called reverse cholesterol transport. Here's how it works. You've heard of good cholesterol, right? HDL? Well, HDL is like a garbage truck. It drives around your body, picking up excess cholesterol and taking it to the liver to throw it away. When HDL finds one of those foam cells in your artery wall, it parks next to it and activates this protein called ABCA1. Think of it like an eject button. It pumps cholesterol out of the foam cell and loads it onto the HDL truck. The HDL drives it to your liver. Your liver dumps it into bile. The bile goes into your intestines. And that cholesterol leaves your body when you go to the bathroom. The foam cell shrinks. The plaque gets smaller. Your arteries start healing. This is the only proven way to actually reverse plaque buildup. Not slow it down. Not stop it. Reverse it. But here's the problem most people have. Their reverse cholesterol transport system is broken. That ABCA1 button isn't turning on. Their HDL trucks aren't working right. So the foam cells can't eject the cholesterol. The plaque just keeps growing until something bad happens. But listen to this. That ABCA1 button, it can be turned on with food. Specific foods. The right foods eaten together. Not medication. Not surgery. Food. And that's what I'm about to tell you about. But first, one more thing you need to know. Calcium. Because cholesterol isn't your only problem. As plaque gets older, calcium starts building up in it. Your body tries to wall off the inflammation by laying down calcium like scar tissue. Over time, your arteries literally turn into bone. They get hard, rigid. They can't flex anymore. They measure this with something called a coronary calcium score. It's a special CT scan that counts how much calcium is in your heart arteries. 0 means no plaque. 100 to 400 is moderate. Over 400 is severe. Over 1,000 means you're in serious trouble. Let me tell you about Thomas. Regular guy, 68 years old, felt fine, no symptoms at all. But his doctor ordered this calcium test just to check. The result came back 836. His doctor nearly fell off his chair. How could someone feel completely fine with a score that high? They did more tests, found his arteries were 60 and 50% blocked. Not quite bad enough for stents or surgery, but bad enough to be dangerous if one of those plaques ruptured. So his doctor did what doctors always do. Prescribed a statin, put him on a low-fat diet, told him to exercise. Standard stuff. And Thomas was great about it. Took his pill every day, cut out all red meat, ate chicken and fish, walked every morning. 1 year later, they checked his calcium score again. 891. It had gone up by 145 points. Despite everything he was doing right, his plaque was getting worse. Calcifying, growing. Thomas was crushed. He thought he was doing everything right. That's when someone told him to try something completely different. Stop the low-fat diet. Start eating this specific meal every single day. At first, he thought it was nuts. His doctor told him to avoid fat, and now someone's telling him to eat olive oil. But the science was explained to him, how it all works. And he figured, what did he have to lose? So Thomas ate this meal every single day for 18 months. Then they checked his calcium score again. 922. It had gone down by 59 points. The plaque was actually shrinking. The calcium was being reabsorbed. His arteries were healing. 5 years later, Thomas is still with us. His latest calcium score is 841. Still high but going down. The disease is reversing. He'll never need surgery because his body figured out how to heal itself. With food. So what's this meal? Well, it's not complicated. It's not expensive. It's not weird. It's 4 simple ingredients that you eat together, and each one does something specific. Ingredient number 1, arugula. Yeah, that slightly peppery salad green, or beets if you prefer. Here's why this matters so much. Your arteries are supposed to make this gas called nitric oxide. It's super important. It keeps your blood vessels wide open, keeps blood flowing, prevents stuff from sticking to the walls. But when you have artery disease, your body stops making enough nitric oxide. Your vessels get tight, blood flow drops, things get worse. But here's something cool that scientists discovered. You can restore nitric oxide production through a pathway that starts in your mouth. When you eat arugula or beets, you're eating something called nitrate. Your body absorbs it. Your salivary glands concentrate it in your spit. Then the bacteria in your mouth, the good bacteria, convert it to something called nitrite. You swallow it. Your stomach and blood vessels turn it into nitric oxide. Your vessels open up. Blood flows better. Your arteries start working right again. This has been tested on real people. They gave folks beet juice and measured their blood vessels before and after. Within hours, blood pressure dropped. Arteries got more flexible. Blood flow improved, all from nitrate. But here's a critical thing, and please pay attention to this. This only works if you have the right bacteria in your mouth. And you know what kills those bacteria? Mouthwash. Especially those antiseptic mouthwashes like Listerine. They kill all the bacteria in your mouth. Good and bad. Scientists tested this. Gave people mouthwash for a week, then gave them beet juice. The nitric oxide production completely stopped. Blood pressure went up. Blood vessels got stiffer. All because the bacteria were dead. So if you want this to work, you've got to stop using mouthwash. I know. You've been using it for years. But trust me on this. Just brush your teeth well. Floss. That's plenty. You don't need to kill the bacteria that are keeping your arteries healthy. How much arugula do you need? About 2 to 3 cups. Raw, not cooked. Put it in a big salad bowl. That's your base. Within a few hours of eating it, you'll actually feel the difference. Your hands and feet will feel warmer. That's better blood flow. Your blood pressure will drop a little. You'll have more energy. Ingredient number 2, extra virgin olive oil. But not just any olive oil. You need the good stuff. High quality. High in something called polyphenols. Here's how you tell. When you taste it, it should burn the back of your throat a little. Make you want to cough. That burn is from a compound called oleocanthal. And oleocanthal is like magic for your arteries. First, it's anti-inflammatory. Works just like ibuprofen. Calms down all that inflammation in your artery walls. But second, and this is the big one, it turns on that ABCA1 button, the eject button in your foam cells. It makes your foam cells start spitting out cholesterol, getting it out of your artery walls. They tested this in a huge study in Spain. 7,000 people. Some ate a low-fat diet. Some ate a Mediterranean diet with nuts. Some ate a Mediterranean diet with 4 tablespoons of olive oil every day. After 5 years, they counted heart attacks and strokes. The olive oil group had 30% fewer heart attacks than the low-fat group. 30% from olive oil. But again, it has to be good olive oil. Look for extra virgin, cold-pressed, in a dark glass bottle, with a harvest date on it from within the last year or so. And do the taste test. Pour a little in a cup and swallow it straight. If it burns your throat, that's the good stuff. If it tastes smooth and mild, it's low quality. Don't waste your money. You need 3 to 4 tablespoons a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but you're going to pour it over your arugula salad. Drench it. This isn't about counting calories. This is medicine. This is what's going to activate that cholesterol removal system in your body. Ingredient number 3. This one's for the calcium problem. You need vitamin K2, not K1. K2. There's a big difference. K2 is what tells calcium where to go in your body. It's supposed to go in your bones, not your arteries. K2 activates this protein called MGP that grabs calcium and keeps it out of your artery walls. Most people don't get enough K2. It's only in a few foods. Aged cheese is one. Gouda cheese especially. The older the better. Or there's this Japanese food called natto. Fermented soybeans. I'll be honest with you, most Americans think it's disgusting. Slimy and smelly. But it's loaded with K2. If you can handle natto, eat about 2 tablespoons a day. If not, add about 3 ounces of aged Gouda to your salad. Or you can just take a K2 supplement. MK7 is the kind you want. About 180 micrograms with your meal. Any of those options will work. This is what stopped Thomas's calcium from going up. Actually reversed it. Pulled calcium out of his arteries and put it back in his bones where it belongs. This is the only nutrient ever shown to do that in human studies. Ingredient number 4, pomegranate. Those bright red seeds. You need about a cup of them. Here's why. Remember how plaque starts when cholesterol gets rusty? Well, pomegranate has these compounds called punicolagens that coat your cholesterol particles. Protect them. Keep them from rusting. If cholesterol can't rust, your immune system doesn't attack it. Foam cells don't form. Plaque doesn't grow. They tested this too. Gave people pomegranate juice for a year. Measured the plaque in their neck arteries. The plaque actually got smaller. And when they looked at why, they found the cholesterol wasn't rusting anymore. It was protected by the pomegranate compounds. Don't buy pomegranate juice though. Too much sugar. Get the fresh fruit. Those little seed packets called arils. They're crunchy and tart. Throw a cup of them on your arugula salad. They taste great and they're protecting your cholesterol from rusting. Okay, so let's put this all together. This is your meal. 2 to 3 cups of arugula in a big bowl. 1 cup of pomegranate seeds. 3 to 4 tablespoons of good olive oil poured over everything. And either 2 tablespoons of natto on the side, or 3 ounces of aged Gouda cheese on top, or a K2 supplement with your meal. That's it. 4 ingredients. Real food. Nothing weird. Nothing processed. But each one is doing something specific. The arugula is making nitric oxide to open your vessels. The olive oil is turning on the cholesterol ejection button. The K2 is stopping calcium buildup. The pomegranate is preventing cholesterol from rusting. All four mechanisms working together. That's how you actually reverse plaque. Not overnight. This takes time. Months, maybe years of eating this every single day. But it works. Now I can hear some of you already. You're thinking, that's a lot of olive oil. That's a lot of fat. Didn't my doctor tell me to eat low fat? Here's the thing. The low fat advice was wrong. For 50 years we've been told to avoid fat. Eat more carbs, more grains. And you know what happened? Heart disease stayed the #1 killer. Because fat isn't the enemy. The right kind of fat is actually essential. When you eat low fat, your good cholesterol drops. Your HDL, the garbage truck that removes cholesterol from your arteries. When HDL drops, that reverse cholesterol transport system stops working. Plaque grows faster, not slower. The Mediterranean diet is 40% fat, mostly from olive oil. And people who eat that way have the lowest heart disease rates in the world. Because it's not about how much fat. It's about what kind and what it does in your body. Some of you are thinking, I can't eat this every day. It's too much, too expensive, too time-consuming. Well, friend, let me ask you this. How expensive is a heart attack? How expensive is bypass surgery? This meal costs maybe $10 or $15 a day. Bypass surgery costs $100,000. A heart attack, if you survive it, can cost $50,000. And time? This takes 10 minutes to make. Wash some arugula. Throw on some pomegranate seeds. Pour en olive oil. Add your cheese or natto. That's it. If you don't have 10 minutes to potentially save your life, well, I don't know what to tell you. Others are thinking, my doctor already has me on a statin. Isn't that enough? Statins are good. They lower your cholesterol numbers, but they don't activate reverse cholesterol transport. They don't stop calcium buildup. They don't prevent cholesterol from rusting. You need both, the statin and the diet working together. Thomas was on a strong statin, and his calcium score still went up. It wasn't until he added this meal that things turned around. You need both approaches, the medicine and the food. Together they work. Separately, they're not enough. Look, here's the bottom line. Your body knows how to heal itself. It has systems for removing cholesterol from your arteries, for directing calcium to your bones instead of your vessels, for keeping your blood flowing smoothly. But those systems need the right fuel, the right building blocks, the right triggers to turn them on. This meal provides all of that. It's not magic. It's not a miracle cure. It's just giving your body what it needs to do, what it's designed to do. Clean out your arteries, heal the damage, reverse the disease. Thomas did it. He ate this meal every single day for 5 years. His calcium score went from 836 to 841. Down, not up. Down. His arteries are healing. He'll never need surgery. He gets to watch his grandkids grow up, all because he ate a salad every day. You can do this too. Start today. Get some arugula. Get some good olive oil. Get pomegranate seeds. Get your K2 sauce. Make the salad. Eat it. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the day after that. Your arteries are waiting. They want to heal. They're designed to heal. You just have to give them what they need. So what do you say, friend? Ready to give it a try? Your heart will thank you. Trust me on this one.